Hi, everyone. Today, I want to share a technique with you that I developed for my own benefit, and I now teach to my leadership clients and in my leadership groups. When we are tasked to do something that asks a lot of us, like speaking in public or delivering something that is very high stakes for us, we often find ourselves limited by our fear. So I always say that we are at our best when we are feeling good. Fear keeps us from feeling good, so it keeps us from accessing the whole of our talents. So often for my clients and the leaders that I work with, the fear takes the form of negative what if questions, most of which are not at all accurate. So we know that on a conscious intellectual level, that those fearful what ifs coming into our minds are not helpful or accurate, but on a deeper physical and emotional level, that fear is still affecting us and getting in the way of our talent and the best version of ourselves. And it does that by flooding our minds and our bodies, like if your hands are shaking, with all kinds of negative, inaccurate, and unhelpful what if questions. What if I'm unprepared? What if I mess up? What if everyone thinks I'm stupid? What if I get asked questions I don't know the answer to? What if they hate me? Etc., etc. So to overcome our brain's negativity bias, which is what's throwing those negative what if questions at us, it is so helpful to intentionally and consciously ask ourselves positive what if questions. And these are the opposite of your fearful what if questions. Like, what if this goes well? What if everyone thinks I'm smart? What if I do really know what I'm doing? What if I'm fabulous at this? When you practice coming up with positive what if questions, you not only start to feel better in the moment, but you start practicing and building your skills at thinking positively, which will transform how you show up in the world. And then when you find a positive what if that really resonates with you, I think you should hold on to it, let it get comfortable in your mind and in your body and your entire nervous system. Let yourself accept it as the honest truth. And then, here's the second part of this technique. Act as if. Act as if that positive what if statement is true. So I'll share this story with you to give you an example. Recently, I had to present to an audience that was very intimidating, or could have been intimidating. Very prominent people in leadership positions. And I found myself nervous and asking those negative what if questions. So this happens to me still, but I'm sharing with you how to get past it. And these negative what if statements, they weren't coming to me out loud, but I realized that this is where I found my thoughts going. What if I seem inadequate? What if I don't know things? What if they don't like me, etc., etc.? So I turned those around into positive what ifs. What if this goes well? Oh, that's a nice thought. What if this audience loves you? That's even better. Okay, I like this. All right, keep going. What if the audience thinks I'm smart? You know what? I think they just might. What if I actually know things? And I think, yeah, I do. I do have valuable things to share. I really do. What if I know everything? And this one made me freeze for a minute. I kind of laughed, but then a whole bunch of negative voices, started to swell up inside me. No, you can't think that. That's so pompous. That's arrogant. You sound like a narcissist. No one knows everything. You couldn't be more wrong. Everyone will hate you if you act that way. You should be ashamed of yourself for even thinking that. But none of those are helpful. So I ask it again. What if my fear is, what if I don't know anything? The positive what if statement is, what if I know everything? What if I face this audience and I think and act and feel as if I know everything? It doesn't hurt to just imagine, right? I don't need to tell anyone this is what I'm thinking. Well, I'm telling you all right now, but not at the time. And if it doesn't work out, I don't ever have to try this crazy technique again. So let's go with it. I imagine the reality of facing this very real, very large audience of important people with high expectations, and I imagine it as if I know everything. How would someone who knows that they know everything think and feel and act? So I ask that question and I decide to use that as my guide. So immediately I notice I relax. Someone who knows that they know everything would be fully self-assured. There would be no situation they can't handle and no question they can't answer. Then I feel myself wanting to enjoy the moment. After all, if you're asked to do something that you know you're good at, you don't get stressed out. You actually look forward to it. It feels good to do something you know you're good at and to show it off. So I bring my enjoyment of being good at this to the stage. Yeah, it feels wonderful to be good at something and to provide something that people want. So now not only am I relaxed, but I'm enjoying myself, smiling, inside and outside actually. If I am thinking, feeling, and acting as if I know that I know everything, then I would also feel a deep sense of belonging. It would feel so natural to be standing here on the stage. I would feel worthy. In fact, there would be no doubt whatsoever. And if there was no doubt, then I would be merely feeling comfort, ease, and a sense of being in my element. And that's a good feeling. If I am thinking, feeling, and acting as if I know that I know everything, but here come those negative thoughts again. No one knows everything. That's so cocky of you. But I realize that these voices no longer have any validity. For I really know that if I'm imagining this, that I know everything, I wouldn't be cocky at all. I would be so at peace with myself that arrogance and superiority would actually be the furthest things from my mind. If I knew that I knew everything, I would feel the need to prove nothing. I would be totally free from the compulsion to show off for the sake of rubbing someone else's nose in my talent or success. I would feel so self-assured that nothing and no one could pose a threat. So that means no defensiveness, no hostility, no competition, just feeling good about myself. So I'm going to keep going with this. If I am thinking, feeling, and acting as if I know that I know everything, I would trust the thoughts and the sentences and stories that want to come out of my mouth. I wouldn't agonize over perfection. I wouldn't stumble nervously over my words. I'd look the friendly members of my audience in the eye, and I would speak with gentle and resolute determination. No doubt, no fear, just trust in myself. If I am thinking, feeling, and acting as if I know that I know everything, I would have the confidence to follow any stream of thought wherever my mind and mouth wanted to go. I would let the words flow in any new direction. I would be excited and surprised at what new thoughts emerged right there in the room between myself and my audience. I would hear my own novel inventions as if I were an audience of one, just myself. I would probably be in awe of the discoveries that come to me in that moment. I would marvel at what I was able to do, yet without one bit of arrogance. Because you see, arrogance can't even survive in the absence of insecurity. And if I am thinking, feeling, and acting as if I know that I know everything, I'm not insecure. If I am thinking, feeling, and acting as if I know that I know everything, then I would also know what I don't know and be completely open to challenging questions and novel insights from my audience. I would know that I have the capacity to grow, and I would use these interactions as an opportunity to not only do that, but to take delight in the process of growing. Yes, it seems like an incredible paradox to both know everything and know that there are things I don't know, but that's the power of paradox. It prompts the expansion of our cognitive limits, and I would find that so thrilling. If I am thinking, feeling, and acting as if I know that I know everything, then I would mean it with absolute sincerity when I tell the audience, I have enjoyed my time with you immensely. I would love to do this again. And really mean it, because I do look forward to the next time. No fear at all, no nervousness. And finally, if I am thinking, feeling, and acting as if I know that I know everything, then after I leave the stage, once I'm alone in the car or back in my hotel room, I wouldn't look back and try to find anything that I messed up. I would simply allow myself to enjoy the feelings of satisfaction, of genuine pride, and of pure appreciation for the opportunity and the experience that it gave me. You see, it was never really about really knowing everything. I don't know everything. After all, no one knows everything. But in asking what if, and then acting as if, I unlocked a vast array of possibilities in myself that I didn't have access to otherwise. I was able to escape the bounds of limiting beliefs and expand the options that were available to me to use on the stage. Now, I had those valuable resources in me all along, but by creating a purely positive environment in my mind, I was able to meet the moment and exceed even my own expectations. So that is how I began to give the best performances of my life. Each one is honestly better than the last, because I know, not that I know everything, but that it is in performing, that it is in acting as if, that one truly becomes. Performance is the unreal rendered real. So remember, notice that your fears are really just negative and silly what-if questions. So convert those into a corresponding opposite positive what-if. Like, what if this goes well? What if I'm brilliant? And then act as if that's true. Think and act and feel as if you know beyond any shadow of a doubt that positive what if statement is true. You'll not only feel better in the moment, but you'll access extents of your talent you didn't even know you had. So please let me know how it goes.